There are days I can't believe how good things are going for our side. There are so many interesting developments happening in America right now, and I never thought that the leftist, corrupt propaganda media was ever going to pivot or adjust. I figured we were stuck with them. They flipped out about Matt Gaetz. He stepped aside. Now Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, is Trump's pick for Attorney General. There's sort of a mixed response to this appointment or this decision. Look, I like her. I think she's solid. A lot of people are saying there's some red flags. There are a lot of people that are worried about people like Jeb Bush enthusiastically endorsing her. Lindsey Graham's a big fan. Makes people nervous. A lot of people are saying, wait a minute, why do people in the deep state like her? And that's beyond, I'm not talking about necessarily Lindsey or Jeb, although I guess many would include them in that category. I don't know what happens to Matt Gaetz. I can't shake the belief that this was always 4D chess on Trump's part. This was a maneuver to flesh out some of the rhinos, because we know that there are 4 Republican senators who were never going to give Matt Gaetz a chance. And it's the usual suspects. It's McConnell, and it's Murkowski, and it's Susan Collins. Who's the 4th? I forget the 4th one. They're all rhinos. These are not people who are willing to embrace the new Republican Party. And there is a new Republican Party. There is a huge coalition that has been created by Donald Trump. Young, old, white, black, Hispanic. There's a whole different kind of Republican voter today that the Mitch McConnells of the world and the Jeb Bushes of the world could never hope to achieve. Never in their wildest imagination did they think we could have this kind of a makeup of the Republican Party. And that's because Trump is not a politician, and he's not even a typical Republican. And the people that hate that about him hate him. And more to the point, they hate us. I saw a great tweet from somebody, a post that I'm now following, an account holder named Cynical Publius. And I kind of like what I see from this guy, but listen to what he posted last night. It's pretty crazy to me that Donald Trump just pulled off the greatest political comeback since Napoleon against the most difficult political headwinds in U.S. history, yet so many of his supporters still despair at the tiniest perceived setback. Have a little faith, baby. I love that. I didn't even know this is a setback. I'm not sure that Trump didn't want Pam Bondi all along. I mean, now we can confirm who the real rhinos are, who aren't going to be particularly supportive of the Trump agenda. I mean, we kind of knew that anyway, but I guess they're on the record now. And Pam Bondi is tough. She's a fighter. But people on both sides of the aisle seem absolutely astounded at Pam Bondi for Attorney General. Check out Senator John Fetterman from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Holy I didn't see that coming.
Oh.
I mean, yes, he was the ultimate troll, and people have the opportunity. They can freak out over things and respond. And if you want to do that, you don't have to. You better pace yourself, though, because it's not even Thanksgiving.
He's right. Holy blank is kind of the way a lot of us were feeling yesterday. And speaking of a freak out, check out MSNBC. Here's their leftist contributor, Jason Johnson, with a full-fledged meltdown over just how effective, how competent, how solid Pam Bondi really is. This is from MSNBC.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent.
We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz.
That's good enough for me. That seals the deal for me. I'm all in. Count me team Bondi. Because if MSNBC is freaking out because of how effective she will be at securing the border and cracking down on illegal immigration, the only problem is, and I'm going back and forth, a little ping pong match in my mind, is the weaponization of the Justice Department a big enough priority for her that she's going to take it on? Or is she a product of the deep state? Look, we can find wrinkles in everybody. She's a big proponent of red flag laws, which worry the heck out of me. She actually, I believe, campaigned for Jeb Bush in 2016. That's a little red, not a big red flag, but that's a small, tiny red flag for me. So, look, let me just do what I always do and turn it over to the smartest audience in the universe, you. Give me a call, 800-655-MIKE, as we gather together on this Friday, November the 22nd, 2024, in the Relief Factor Studios. Tell me what you think of Matt Gaetz' decision to step down when he realized, apparently, it was President Trump who delivered the news to Matt Gaetz. You're not going to get these 4 or maybe 5 or maybe 6 Republican senators to budge. You don't stand a chance. Time for you to throw in the towel. Give me your reaction to that. Give me your reaction to Pam Bondi. What do you think of MSNBC melting down and saying she's our worst nightmare because she's going to be so good at the job? But then tell me what you think about the endorsement she's been getting from some people who we are very cynical about. Is this a net? Is this a positive, or is this a mixed bag? Let me turn it over to you. Your voice, your call, your perspective, front and center here on the Mike Gallagher Show. 800-655-MIKE. 800-655-6453. Call or text, but tell me what you think about the wild events of the past 24 hours.
Mike Gallagher.
I saw a funny post on X this morning. Somebody wrote, I mourn that I will never feel the unbridled joy that Kevin McCarthy feels today. It's true. Kevin McCarthy's got to be one of the happiest guys around now that Matt Gaetz threw in the towel and gave up his effort to become Attorney General. Of course, Matt Gaetz was behind the coup, the ouster of Kevin McCarthy, and so probably a pretty appropriate assessment of how former Speaker Kevin McCarthy is feeling today. I don't know what Matt Gaetz does next. I mean, there's been this drama yesterday. If you get a headache, you get whiplash trying to keep up with what all the machinations are. He apparently resigned from the 118th Congress, but he was reelected, so technically it's believed he could come back into the 119th Congress. I don't know. If you know, let me know. 800-655-MIKE. Let me get your take on all of this. We'll start with Jane in South Dakota. Hi, Jane. Welcome back. How are you?
Hey, great, Mike. Thanks so much. So here's my concern, and I have nothing against Pam Bondi. She might be great. But what happened to the fight for Matt Gaetz? And I have 2 really big dogs, Mike, and if I don't bring them into heel, they think they're in charge. We've got to get these rhinos into heel.
I know. But on the other hand, somebody from Connecticut just wrote this to me, and I think they make a good point. Matt Gaetz was a sledgehammer. Pam Bondi is the velvet glove. She'll be more effective in a more subdued style. I wonder if that's true.
I hope that's true. I think my point is that we conceded something early on
Right.
It sends a bad signal to our opponents.
But so that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it, though, is that this is all part of the process. Look, Obama's picks didn't sail through right away either. This happens with every president. Trump is doing this at breakneck speed. He is appointing or picking people left and right. It's a fire hose of information coming at all of us. And like the guy said on social media, calm down, have faith. This is going to happen. And this may have been Trump's plan all along. I don't know. Todd's in Franklin, North Carolina. Hey, Todd, welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. Hello.
Hey, Mike. How you doing
Good,
today?
Todd. How are you?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you. Well, happy early Thanksgiving.
Hey, you too, man. I hope it's a good one.
Thank you.
It's supposed to rain up here.
I heard
But
it.
anyways, I was kind of curious, man. You know, Republicans, conservatives, we have a way of screwing everything up. I can remember Rush Limbaugh, I wonder how he would react and what his thoughts would be right now in this situation.
Gosh.
2 years, we got another election coming up. Do we sit on our hands or do we get aggressive right now to keep what we got?
Yeah,
I don't want to get your thoughts on
No, it's a good question because I think the same thing. I often think about what Rush would be saying about Matt Gaetz, what he'd be thinking about Pam Bondi, what he would think about the weaponization of the Justice Department. I miss him. You know, we all miss him. I miss his perspective on reacting to things like the mainstream media and the leftist media, the propaganda media. You know, I started the hour talking about wondering whether or not the media can pivot, whether the left, Trump-hating, conservative-bashing media can pivot. And then I see a headline yesterday over at MSNBC. Now, this week, America was just heartbroken by the trial concluding of the killing of Laken Riley, this beautiful young woman who just went for a jog one morning in Georgia, only to have her head bashed in, and horrible, horrible crime committed by this illegal from Venezuela who was flown around the country on our dime because of Biden's open border policies. And do you want to know what the MSNBC headline was yesterday? I couldn't believe this. I had to get it confirmed. I looked it up. It's true. MSNBC.com. Laken Riley's killer never stood a chance. Laken Riley's, her killer never stood a chance. For all the political controversy surrounding Jose Ibarra, the outcome of this trial was never in doubt. MSNBC seems to be mourning for the killer, not Laken Riley. That's just how broken they are.